This time I'd like to call Dan Heredia to come forward as a character witness for Nicholas. All right, so let me bring this down. Okay, so when I was told to write this, I was not told character witness. However, instead I wrote how my brother being in scouting has affected me, and how it's affected me a little bit differently from the other two speakers because I was in scouting with him. So I want to try to talk about the 3 points of scouting, not the 3 points of the Scout Oath most people know, the duty to God and our country, help others, and take care of ourselves. I mean the 3 points that sum up my experience with Nick being in scouting. These are separation, frustration, and appreciation. So, when I was in Cub Scouts, going far back, I avoided my brother as much as possible on trips to the McCullough farm, den trips to Lake Kiowee, banquets, etc., and didn't really want to have anything to do with Nick. I know that sounds bad, but just think, it was me, my best friends, and Nick. He was like the tag-along to our group, and I really felt like this was just because he was so much younger than all of us. He's by far the youngest person in the group of guys, and so naturally when you're 10 years old, you don't want a 5-year-old hanging around you and your bros, even if it happens to be your real brother. Well, those times passed, and eventually we both got a little older. We hit a certain stage where I would tell Nick something, he would argue, I would get frustrated. I can't forget our father's words, "You're his older brother, not his father." But at this time I felt responsible for Nick because he was younger and a newer scout. Not that he needed me for everything, but that because I had more experience, so it was my job to teach him and act as a role model. Again, according to our father, I was supposed to be the role model, which is a little contradictory to what he just said of not being the father. Teach him and don't let him do anything dumb, but leave the fathering, aka teaching, to dad. P.S. That stage isn't totally done yet, and probably never will be, Nick. And that brings me to the last of my 3 points, appreciation. That desire for separation from my brother and the frustration of Nick being difficult turned into a true appreciation of the times we've shared together and the experiences that we can always look back on, talk about, and laugh about. I was honored to be able to sit in on his Eagle Board review. It reminded me of how nervous I was for mine and made me realize how much I've grown personally since then. And I know Nick will too. He really surprised the Scoutmasters and I at the Board of Review with some of his answers, in a good way, don't worry, Mom. And I like how Mr. Piot really got him to stop and think about what scouting means on a personal and intellectual level. You don't really get to do that when you're going through the program. You're too busy focused on the next camping trip and what everybody's going to eat and stuff like that. How some things aren't fun. Scouting definitely set the stage for how I would approach problems I encounter in life and just life in general, how it prepared me to think and act like an adult. At Nick's age, he won't realize it much yet. I didn't when I was his age. But now I can't overstate the impact it has made on my life and will make on yours, Nick, Benjamin, and Timothy. I remember my first day of college orientation, sitting in a classroom with my orientation group, everyone saying one thing that was unique about themselves. I said I was an Eagle Scout, and for the first time, my peers, the kids my age, didn't snicker or laugh to themselves. They just said, "Wow." It was a small sign of the way people in the real world see you differently when you're an Eagle Scout. And they will expect more from you than other people, and they should, because I know you are all capable of doing more, achieving more than what's average or normally expected from people. Live up to the Eagle Scout standard, make an impact, so others you meet in life will continue to say, "Wow." Be proud of this, guys. Getting back to having Nick in scouting has affected me. Nick and I will always have that shared understanding of what the scouting program can really offer you. The values you're taught, the skills you gain, and in a more subtle way, the way you see the world a little differently than most. I'm thankful for this bond we have, the bond that very few scouts share, and even fewer brothers do. For that, and the times that we've had together in Boy Scouts, I am very happy and appreciative. I'm really proud of him, and I know he will go far. Thank
you. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Eagle Scout Nicholas Heredia to say a few words.
Before I hand out my pins, I like to share some early memories from Troop 210. I remember when I first joined the troop, along with Benjamin and Timothy, I didn't know what to expect of the coming years. I had no idea where the road of scouting would take me. I remember when we joined the troop, one of our first assignments was to create our own patrol. As I recall, the three of us were in that patrol. The patrol name we came up with was the Blues Brothers. We ended up having to also create a patrol chant, which in our case was Soul Man by the Blues Brothers. That was my first memory I made in Troop 210. To this day, Timothy, Benjamin, and I always share a good laugh about it. I remember every time we would go to Camp with Indian, we would always eat all the little snacks my mom packed in the little cooler she always gave me to use. I also remember when we'd go on camping trips, Benjamin and I would always sing random classic tunes that no one else knew. Songs like Jumper by Third Eye Blind or Little GTO by Ronnie and the Daytonas would always come up on our sing-along playlist whenever we'd go hiking. I also remember that so many people have helped me get where I am today. I'd like to thank everyone who had helped me on my road to Eagle. So many of you have guided me throughout my journey and have inspired me greatly. I would also like to thank Bethesda Methodist Church for always letting us hold all of our great meetings here. I will always be thankful to be a part of such an amazing troop led by amazing leaders. People like Mr. Edge, Mr. Wallace, Mr. Anderson, Mr. McCullough, Miss Mathis, Mr. and Mrs. Bowen, and so many others have led me and inspired me to become a great Eagle Scout. 4 people in particular helped me get this far in my scouting career. The first person I'd like to thank is Mr. Carlson. He has been a very encouraging instructor to me during my journey to my Eagle Award. He has shown me what I needed to do step by step throughout my Eagle project, certain merit badges, and other Eagle requirements. He was also the quartermaster, and so for dealing with all the equipment constantly, I'd like to greatly thank him for that as well. He has been there for me since the beginning. He has prepared me for what I have faced in becoming an Eagle, and so as my mentor throughout my scouting career, I'd like to give my first pin to him. The second person I'd like to thank is Mr. Brady. Not only has he also been there from the beginning, he has also been the scoutmaster I like to turn to whenever I had a concern within the troop or when I was unsure about certain decisions I had made as a leader. I knew whenever I was stuck on something when I was a patrol leader or whenever I had questions about what to do in a certain situation involving scouting, Mr. Brady was always the person to help me out. And so as my helpful instructor, I like to give my second pin to him. The third person I'd like to thank is Mr. Gill. He helped me greatly on my Eagle project by excavating the area where we built the playground, as you can see in the photos in the video. My project wouldn't have been completed as quickly as it was without him. Mr. Gill has also been very encouraging throughout my scouting career. Anytime I would talk to him, he'd always ask about what I was currently doing to get closer to my Eagle rank. And he'd always encourage me to keep striving towards my goal. And so for helping me greatly with my Eagle project, and for always encouraging me, I'd like to give my third pin to him. Lastly, the person I like to thank is my dad, Ralph Heredia. He has been there for me throughout my whole scouting career. He has encouraged me so much. He has given me a lot of faith in myself, and he was always the one who helped me believe that I could make something great of myself. Whenever there were countless times I have thought of giving up on my road to Eagle, my dad would always pick me back up and get me moving again. He is the biggest reason for why I am speaking to you guys today. If anyone deserves a thank you for the dedication, inspiration, encouragement, and faith in me, it's my dad. Dad, you are the reason that I am an Eagle Scout. You have taught me and guided me through the steps and obstacles of my long road, and have helped me become the man I am today. Thank you so much for believing in me when I myself did not. Thank you for all the help in my requirements and scouting activities. These past years of trips, meetings, green bars, merit badge colleges, and so forth have given me countless memories and bonding moments with you that I will never forget. And so for being the biggest help out of everyone in my scouting career, I'd like to give my 4th pin to you. A little while ago, my dad came up to me and said, "Do you have an extra pin?" So I was thinking of people that I could give that last pin to. And again, like I said, a lot of people have helped me on my road to Eagle. But then I thought about the person that inspired me to join Boy Scouts in the first place. Like, as Benjamin recalled earlier, usually whenever your brother does something, you kind of want to join along. So, to the person who inspired me to join Scouts, to the person that I looked at and said, "Oh, that looks cool, maybe I should do that," I'd like to give my final and 5th pin to Mr. Daniel Heredia. Thank you.